Tutato hei tore, to hei tore, tutato hei mai. Our history, your history, our future.
This is your story, with a beginning and no end. We are simply the guardians of your money, acting on behalf of the communities we serve, for the benefit of present and future generations. Back in the 80s, the banking sector was deregulated. The Canterbury Savings Bank was sold and the money from that sale was put into trust for the community. Over the years, through prudent and good investment strategy, we've built up that capital base from $300 million to over $500 million. The income from that investment portfolio is distributed to the community. That's the only income that we get. We get no other funding from any other gaming trusts or from any other funders. Our funding benefits Marlborough, Nelson, Chatham Islands and Canterbury. Over the past 26 years, we've put over $370 million into our community. This year alone, we've funded $36.7 million, helping hundreds of organisations achieve better outcomes. One of the highlights this year is the Trust moving from being a reactive funder to embracing a much more collaborative model of funding. A particular highlight has been the launch of our $25 million special fund. We've had major steps forward with our social housing, social enterprise and our $2 million Need Help Now fund.
Collaboration is at the heart of everything the Canterbury Community Trust does.
I think the social housing situation in Christchurch is really difficult for everybody post-earthquake because there's such a loss of housing stock in Christchurch, and so that affected the social housing stock a lot as well. And so, our clients every day are coming to us homeless, and so it's really important for us to get up and running. Well, the partnership that we've engaged in with the Social Housing Unit and the Canterbury Community Trust has been an amazing sort of revolutionary partnership really to bring local philanthropic organisation together with a social housing provider and government to partner something that makes social housing possible really for non-government organisations, because there's no profit in social housing, so how can you do it without huge assistance from great organisations? And I think that's what we've seen come together here. And the huge benefit for Comcare Trust is that it means that we can develop as a social housing provider without drowning in debt.
The funding that we've got from the Canterbury Community Trust is fundamental to everything that we've done. We got funded initially in 2011, which kick-started what we're doing. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have got off the ground and we wouldn't be now producing shows which are the most popular in Canterbury Museum's history. What the funding that we've got has enabled us to do is to produce artwork both inside the museum and around the city. The internal work, but also the huge murals that we put around the city we are and are continuing to create a legacy for the city. It's vital for us that we keep our ethics in place. Street art is a genre which is free to view because it's normally out on the street, so it's vital that we don't charge people to come in through the door to see what we're doing inside. Our ethics mean that we won't go to people like gaming trusts to get money. The funding that comes through from the Community Trust allows and facilitates everything to happen. We run what we do on a very, very tight budget. It's about the partnership and the collaboration that we have between the two organisations.
I think at the moment the need in the community for social services is significantly higher than perhaps it has been for a while. It's in this really complicated post-earthquake environment that we've been dealing with. We see people with a lot more complicated needs and they require more complex support from a range of agencies. The funding that we get for the Canterbury Community Trust is absolutely essential for agencies like ours. We really rely on that support, and we really consider the Trust to be one of our long-standing partners actually, because the work that we do and other agencies like us do can't be done alone. You've got to partner with other agencies, whether that be other social services or funders.
This has been an important year for us. We've really looked at our strategy, our way forward. We've looked to engage better with our community, to work in partnership and collaboration to make our funding go further. We're looking to make well-informed decision making around our grants, to really understand our communities, to understand where the gaps and the need of our communities are. We also need to manage expectations in the community around funding and what our priorities are. And as always, we look to preserve and protect our capital base for future generations, as well as balancing that off with the needs of the current generation.